So I cut away some of this, and so what we got going on here is I was a little off. I want to go about ½ inch farther back, obviously, so I could continue the sheetrock. I was about a quarter of an inch off for some reason. I don't know exactly why. The wall is level. It's no big deal. Because really, all I have to do is put the one stud up here. There's no stud behind here. Like I said, there's some odd thing going on where they've got partial wood lath there, partial wood lath there. Some of that was small pieces, like right here, and some of it was still whole pieces. And so that means it's still kind of like got a little bit of support right here, but that needs to come out, sorta. So because right there, as you can see, it's in the way to make a continuation. Don't want to have a bump out right there or anything. That's kind of silly. But remove this piece, and what I'll do is I will cut that flush, or maybe back just a little bit. So when I put sheetrock over it, what I'll do is I won't sheetrock that little part right there, and I'll just mesh over it with some like fiberglass tape, and just really mud it down really well. And like some hot mud or something like that to make it bond right there, and just kind of fill in that space right there. Plus, well, no, the trim won't go there for the door. It's going to be somewhere else. Maybe I'll put some type of trim piece or something as a transition, if it's necessary, if it's needed or anything like that, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to take this out, because this supports whatever's going on right here. Like there's a partial wall, and this right here has got the 3 layers, the sheetrock, the plaster layer, and then the sheetrock again. And then it's kind of like, it's weird. It's like put together right there with a mud layer. Because there's like a key right there, and it's not really attached to the 2x4 behind it. Now, you can see that they missed. In there is the shower stall, or the shower surround. So I can't see as bad as, but obviously they missed. They put this piece here to attach sheetrock to, and they missed. Now maybe they came back and they hit it, who knows. But first blush they missed. But again, like I said, what I'll do is I won't, since it's already back a little bit, since it's back like a quarter of an inch farther it needs to be, because really all it is going to have the 2x4 sitting right here. It's going to be out a little bit, yeah, just a small tad, about a quarter of an inch, because that way it'll make up for the ½ inch, and then it'll come across. So you can see here a piece of some kind of flat, put this right in here, and as you can see, there's the gap, and that gap is supposed to be like a ½ inch. It's more like 3/4 of an inch. But I'm going to verify that before I do it. I'll drop maybe 1 bob or something, or get my laser level out and mark it again. I had already marked where the floor is kind of faded out now anyways, because I'll have to sweep back over it. Really dusty getting all this out. I had to grinder and ground through that to get to that bottom layer, and even so I wasn't able to get all the way down, so I have to do a little trim work right there to clean that up. Again, same thing up here is what I'll have to do here. Now, what the good thing is that, all right, it's got whatever's going on there, and then it's got this piece right here, and that kind of supports that right there. So, even though, yeah, I'm gonna have to do some cutting there, or maybe there's some kind of like little header I'll make right there to kind of like, because it needs a header anyways. It does need a header right there, because this is the end of the house. This is where the end of the roof falls for the one section of the house. Now, all right, so, the roof is like this on this section of the house, because this was the original house, and this is the other part of the house, and that roof goes that way. So this is where that comes down. So it really needs a header, even though it doesn't really have it here. They kind of thought they made up for it, by having these 4x4s right here and supporting the section right there, but it really needs a header. So what I'll do is I'll stick a header right there, and because this is going to have a header right here, and so what I'll probably do just to kind of match things up is, it's dark in here, there's no power. I got to get that power fixed. I'm running the cord from in here for light, but I'm running and I don't know how well you can see it in the dark, but I'm gonna run the opening up to where that trim is, the bottom of that trim, because I don't want to cut through the trim and then have it break and then not continue in the haul, because that, you know, you'd want some continuation. If you hit a corner, you want some type of continuation. You don't want to break it up and then have something different in the haul. So if you bring it underneath that trim, then you won't have to really continue it in the haul, and so it'll be down a little bit. And so what I'll do is I'll match that here with the header, and that'll keep me from having to cut that right there, because that's where the header will go anyways. So yeah, that's what I'll do. Because like I said, 2x4 wall will go right there, and the trim will go here, and it'll trim up to, and so it'll be, you know, some sheetrock here. I'm gonna tear this out regardless, but that way, that's what I'll do. But I'll still have to trim that piece. I'll still have to, it won't have to take the whole piece out. It is a 2x4, obviously. I'm pretty sure it's a 2x4. Can't really tell if it's a 2x4 or a 4x4 without really pulling it back and looking. Oh, no, it is a 2x4. You can see right in there where it ends. So it is a 2x4, so it's gonna end up being a small sliver of a piece right there, supporting this right here, but it should be enough to support it. If not, then, you know, I'll figure something else out. See, I can't really put another 2x4 here and kind of thing, because all these nails they missed. I'd have to take the surround out, the tub surround, which eventually probably gonna do anyways, but not right now. I don't want to get into that. It's more work than I really need to put into it right now, because I want to get this whole section done. I want this section done so we can start cleaning this place up, get that section done, get this place cleaned up, and start putting in floor, or start painting and you know, start doing some other work besides all this reconstruction. So all these other things will come later, but right now, got to do something to get that even. Like I said, come back, draw where I really need to. Obviously, where I originally thought I was going to put the thing, which is just as well, because it's really tight towards the end, right here. Now this is actually a little bit bigger than the. See, as you can see, there is no gap there whatsoever. Now, that's an older piece of wood. Trying to figure out what I did with my other piece of wood. Oh, here it is. And this blue line's a little off anyways, because somehow or another, when I put the screw in to put the chalk line in, it got a little bit off from a mark, as you can see. But even so even if I ran it to where the line is, where it's marked, to see, that's exactly 120.5 inches from that wall, and then 125 inches from that wall, trying to make it a whole even all the way across. But if I run it back to the blue line, which is just as good, it's only about 1/8 of an inch difference. At least I have some gap. But it'll work even better that I'll have to bring that out just a little bit, you know, like 1/4 of an inch. That'll give that a good gap along there. Plus the sheetrock will come down over, you know, on this wall, and then it'll come down and be like there. And then, of course, trim work will cover all that up, and so we'll be good. Won't need to trim that back. I had to rip that. You know, I had to rip across that last piece. As you can see, it's narrower than the piece next to it, because I had to rip it. Because I didn't want to take another section up and then leave a big blank section, because again, we're going to have to eventually bring this up, rest of this floor up to since I'm leaving the hardwood in most places and then covering it with LVP, I didn't want to have to do it that way. So, but again, tomorrow, work on getting that fixed. And then trying to get that in there, and then start putting this wall in. I've got all the material for wall. I've got the layout that I need, that I want. For the most part, again, the closet is kind of iffy and where I want to do that, but that's not the major thing. I've got where the openings are for, you know, door for here, and then I know where I want the door there, and I know where I want the pocket door in here and the pocket door in here. So that's what I got to plan and start working on tomorrow.